Good afternoon. This is James with Drone Deer Services. And I want to try something a little bit different today. What I have for you is the screen video from my Mavic 3 thermal. The controller is an RC Pro. It came with the unit. I really like the controller. I don't have a lot of experience to tell you if if there are others that are better out there, but it is a very nice controller. So I put the drone up on a early April day in Ohio, near a marsh. The river had come out of its banks, is a kind of a term that I use. You can see right now that we are in the white hot mode. The darkest features on this particular view is the water, so that is the coldest component of this view, and then everything else is some level warmer than that water. Some of the logs or fallen trees absorb sun all day and they're quite a bit warmer. But this was an interesting flight. Found a couple more species of animals that I hadn't captured before with the drone, so that was pretty cool. And hopefully you'll enjoy. Here, I'm kind of positioning myself above these two white hot spots to figure out what exactly I'm seeing here. And you notice, just like the deer, I go from thermal IR to zoomed in, and I'm trying to figure out what I'm seeing down there. They didn't look like deer from above, and this is kind of a cool shot, so you can see that I'm 273 feet up. I'm not moving, I'm just hovering, and that you can see that by the speed indication kind of on the bottom of the frame, a little bit left center. And you'll get a little bit more idea what an operator sees while he's running the drone. There is, you can see that yellow box, that's an indication that I took a photograph, and I do have those photographs, and I'll put them at the end of the video. But that's an actual groundhog. Some folks call them woodchucks. In Ohio, we call them groundhogs mostly. It's a great varmint hunt. They get pretty smart towards the end of their kind of the season where you can get them. They do a lot of damage in ag fields. They eat a lot of soybeans. When the beans come up, generally they wait till they get, 3 or 4 inches tall, and they just love that, and they just mow them down. And then my farmer friend, he has to replant, and that's a pretty significant cost. When I was really into it, I learned that a family of groundhogs could take out up to 4 acres of beans, and that's 4 acres of beans, 60 to 70 bushels an acre, $12 to $14 a bushel. All the inputs that you need to get into farming and put those beans in the ground. It's just it's not a good thing. I don't think you could ever get rid of all the groundhogs, but that was just a zoomed in version of one that appeared to be making a burrow. I continued on and just looking for white spots that would indicate that something is hot. On this, warmer than the surrounding area. On this particular trip, I'm in Ohio for a while, and I've seen some animals that I have not seen before with the drone, and I'd like to bring those to you. Kind of found out strange things with squirrels, and that's probably a squirrel right down there, that white item. Squirrels, because they're generally up in the trees, they kind of give you an indication that they're moving. They're swaying on the branch, basically, and they kind of give you a false impression what they are. The squirrels right now are eating, for whatever reason, they're eating the buds off the trees. So that must be a delicacy for them when they don't have nuts. But they're going to town on the actual buds. But as you can see from the altitude information, I'm 250 feet in the air. I am, looks like a little bit over 1,000 feet above sea level. And I'm kind of along a state route here. And I'm just looking to see what I can find. Here you'll notice I switched to black hot mode, which completely changes the configuration. And now things that are black are the hottest, and that didn't work out very well, so I switched right back to white hot mode. And you can do that very easily with the Mavic 3T. You saw a car just roll by, and I kind of a, I don't know, one of the reasons for this flight, I was kind of looking for fawns. This is the time of year where the fawns will start to come out, and I was kind of looking at them on this particular flight. I'm going to come up to this group of cedars here, and generally deer kind of are attracted to cedars or get a lot of use of them. They block the wind. They're a good kind of a place to have a bed beneath them. And I kind of saw a warmer area than the surroundings, and it's coming up here. You'll see it now. It entered the screen. There's a cedar from above without the IR. I'm trying to figure out what that white spot is that's near the top of the screen. And I'm going to zoom in here. I was thinking it might be a fawn because the deer will have give birth and then kind of stay away from the fawn, so the predators will not kind of focus in on them. But this may be a deer bed. A deer may have been bedded there and was warmed. I zoomed in as kind of as good as I could. I took some photographs. I didn't really see anything, but if it was a fawn, it could have been under the grass. And if it was a deer bed that the deer got up out of, then obviously the deer would not be there. So this is a pretty much zoomed in here. I'm like at 21 X zoom right now, and didn't see anything a live animal down there. So I kind of did a spin, and you can see as I rotate, I can adjust my position and then head on a track. Just as a reminder, things that are white are warm, things that are dark are colder. You can see right now I'm running, and it's a little bit difficult to see, somewhere between 64 and 73 degrees as my current temperature range. But I'm just looking for things that may be of interest to me and may be of interest to you as viewers. So you can see the darker spots here is probably wet areas, water, standing water. And I'm just kind of taking a cruise. Kind of in the center, bottom left of center is the speed indicator. Now it's at 0. I'm kind of positioning myself to look at whatever this item here is, and I increase my speed up to 8 miles an hour, then I slow down. I'm probably zoomed in too much at 31x to see what I was seeing, so I'm going to back it off and kind of get an idea of what this hot thing is down there, what it could be. It could be something that absorbed sunlight during the day. And I couldn't figure this out. It looks like a 2x4 and some plates or shingles. It might be an old duck blind. I don't know. But on a future, it looks like an old cone is down there too, to the right of the post. Maybe an orange traffic cone that is now full of mud or covered with mud. But on a future flight, I'll get right down next to it and see what I can see. I use the drone for photography. I don't, get it down and kind of bother or disturb the wildlife. I enjoy watching wildlife, and like at this particular shot, I'm 246 feet up in the air, and you'll see kind of soon that I wasn't kind of disturbing anything really because of the height and the kind of the construction of the drone. It's a kind of a quiet unit. Um, there are different propellers that you can get for to even make it quieter. But here I'm going to look at this white thing here. I don't know what it is, so I go IR and then I'm going to zoom in, and this pops up to be a Canada goose. I don't know if she's laying eggs. Have no idea, but that was my first sitting Canada goose on the drone. And here you can see that yellow square. I'm kind of focusing in and taking photographs. She is absolutely oblivious to my location, which says a lot because geese typically would be very wary of things that are flying overhead. And so that gives you an idea how, you know, um, low impact or no impact we have. Here I had two white objects to the upper right corner, and I thought they were deer. And come to find out they weren't, and then you're going to find out what they were, which is, again, pretty cool. So that's water, marsh grass. There's the items that they move a lot like deer. The thing is, it's hard to have a reference point on sizes unless you kind of like really think about the length of a branch, the diameter of the tree, etc., of what we're actually seeing. Uh, these objects are moving pretty good. They couldn't be fish because the fish would be the same temperature as the water generally. But there's something moving down there, and we're going to get a glimpse of what I saw, which was pretty cool. I'm trying to position myself to kind of head them off at the pass so I can get them on zoom at the right zoom level. I'm backing in and out between 15x and 30x, and looking for this. There it is in the upper left corner. Something just moved through the screen, which is pretty cool. And lo and behold, it's another Canada goose. So zoomed at 9x. Pretty much above the goose. Absolutely no disturbance at all, no impact, and this goose is just kind of cruising through here looking for stuff to eat, which was cool. The water's cold, the goose is relatively warm, and shows up very good on IR. I was led to believe, incorrectly, that waterfowl are difficult to see with IR because of the insulation factor of the feathers and the down, but I didn't find that to be the case at all. Not at all. And here comes another goose cruising through. I'm imagining this is a pair, and they're pretty soon they're gonna get busy and put together a nest and hopefully have some goslings, and maybe I can get those on film. But again, that yellow thing that pops up there is just kind of my camera focus, and you can take pretty decent photographs from the drone, and I'll again include those at the end of the video. Here I am cruising a little bit more. It looks like I'm heading due south. I'm zooming in on kind of this object here, trying to take a photograph and figure out what it is. But this is the kind of the activity. You go IR, you find something that's a different temperature, an elevated temperature, and you kind of try to zoom in and you find it. Sometimes it's a rock that was warmed up during the day, and sometimes it's not. So here's a thing that on the earlier clip that I put up yesterday, I thought it was a deer, and I'm not really sure. This could be a goose. It's kind of moving like a deer, but you can see it in the up. It's not. I learned that it wasn't a deer, but I couldn't really tell if it was a raccoon or a goose, and you can kind of see it there. I'm going to try to zoom in. You can put in your comments what you think it is. Hopefully it's not an injured goose, but that was pretty cool. It's in the water there. If it's a goose, it's taking a rest. If it's a raccoon, I don't know what it's doing. So you can see some old tire tracks there in this marsh. This is public ground. You can see some deer trails. Coming up, you'll see, deer sticking to the trails. But here I go. I continue on my journey, and I'm looking for deer. So this gives you an idea of the kind of cover I'm in. I'm looking kind of far out. It kind of gives you the area I'm at. There's a river up ahead. I can see absolutely no deer in this view. I pan back and forth, and then my technique, I'm going to turn on the IR, and you're going to see something, that you can't see right now. And it just is a testament to the camouflage of these animals, how Mother Nature took care of them. So here I see a bunch of objects, white hot, moving, look like what I know to be deer. And so I move a little closer, and I kind of prove the point that they're deer. Here I'm at 217 feet above the ground. There are some deer out here. I'm trying to kind of get you some nice zoomed in photographs or footage. And, this is a nice herd, 5, 6, 7 animals. And it was kind of strange behavior. They were kind of milling around. And I don't know what a deer does after the fawns are born. If they kind of stay 50 yards away, they're downwind, upwind, I don't know. But they were exhibiting some, different behavior. This is a deer kind of looking back towards the other deer that was coming, not looking up at the drone, because remember the drone's at this point 217 feet in the air. The drone, absolutely no impact on these animals. I'm trying to swivel back and forth. I'm taking some photographs here. That's why that yellow box is coming back up. But this gives you an idea what the operator of the drone sees and what Mavic, gives the operator in order to control the drone. So we have, various deer here. We're going to go kind of look at that one that's kind of center screen now. We're going to back up a little bit so we can zoom in. Look there on the bottom left, kind of another bigger deer was coming. And this is I'd say a yearling, maybe a young doe, a young deer. I'm going to zoom back out, go IR, and kind of give you a look. Here's that bigger deer that's coming, kind of on the center bottom, just above the black circle. And that deer is moving to join the rest of the herd. So I'm not sure what's going on, but it was kind of neat to see him. I think I saw deer in the distance. Excuse me, and I'm kind of heading that way to check these out. What I found, I don't believe they were deer. There's a white hot spot there. And I just, kind of do the due diligence and examine what's going on. Remember, a log that gets heated up during the day is going to show white. This is northern Ohio. The limestone is very close to the surface. You probably have 5 to 6 feet of overburden in this particular area. And stones get pushed up, boulders get pushed up all the time. And they'll get warmed up during the day by the sun, and then this was, mid-afternoon on a great clouded over day. And that's another thing that I'm learning. It's probably more important that it's cloudy rather than the temperature difference. Unless we get up, if it's 90 degrees and the deer's body temperature is 94, that's not going to be much of a difference. But, like I said, it was a 62-degree day. Maybe I didn't say it yet. 62 degrees, completely overcast, and this was those are great conditions for this mission. We probably had like a 30-degree temperature differential on the search for these animals. But you can see when you get out of IR, it's very difficult to see the deer. I'm going to zoom in here, kind of give you a glimpse. There is one kind of feature that I'm not real fond of as I move in and out of zoom. You'll notice with the drone, I lose kind of focus. We also can get wind information here, so that you can see the wind speed, which is above the green um, zeros that show me the speed of the drone, and the wind's at 17 miles an hour. So as the drone's sitting above the animals and you're focusing in, and the wind is pushing the animals or the drone around a little bit, then that can kind of mess up your focus. And there's, I went to IR, and these deer are very easy to see. I'm just going back and forth, giving you some kind of indication of what the drone can do. Not sure if this format is better than the format where I just show video and not kind of the screenshot from the RC Pro controller display. If you have an opinion of that, just let me know. Here I'm right above this animal. This is kind of a different behavior. So as one deer is going to come up to the back of the other deer, and I don't know if this deer is going into labor. She's uncomfortable, but you can see this kind of deer pokes his nose in the hindquarters and kind of moves that deer along. And I don't know what that behavior is in the deer world. If you know, let me know. Here I'm demoing split screen. We have IR on the left. We have zoom on the right. I've locked the focus where as I move the zoom, it changes the zoom on the IR side as well. And this is a useful tool sometimes. It's pretty neat. Then I disabled the locked zoom, switched back to IR, and you can see the deer here, and then back to zoom, and just seeing what they're up to, and very interested in knowing what's kind of going on there. Give my voice a little break, I think, in this narration. And again, if it's if this is boring to you, let me know. If you want more videos along these lines with the technical aspects of the drone. With the RC controller in the lower left corner is kind of a map. There are some camera selection mode. You see zoom and wide. Zoom would be the zoom camera, wide would be the wide camera. And I'm in IR mode right now, so that you won't see that available. But as I switch out of IR mode, you will see IR pop up as a selection there on the left, kind of the left edge center, like it just did. So now we have selections for IR or wide, and that's because I'm in the zoom mode. And here's that weird object I was talking about. I don't know what it is, and I'm looking for input on what it is. It looks like a hairless something. It may be a stump. It was kind of white hot. It definitely wasn't a fawn. These deer are very close to it. I just don't know what it is. It kind of looks like the groundhog or gopher, Bill Murray, the gopher decoy that he set up out of plastic explosives in the Caddyshack movie. But I just don't know what it is. And if you know, let me know, because I'd be very interested. It's right there. I really don't know what it is, and I might edit this and zoom in on it. I did take some photographs. I will include that at the end, and I would appreciate if you think you know what it is, let me know. But what happens here is we kind of as we're 251 feet in the air. We just look for things that have some type of thermal signature. If you do like the videos that I put up, please, let me know, like and subscribe. I'm hovered right above a doe, 251 feet. This was the opening photo. She's scratching her back, perfectly calm, not, no impact to her behavior. I'm not disturbing her at all. The ears are just doing normal doe ear movements. And, I'm not in this game to disturb wildlife at all. There are some folks that, kind of do some things at a lot lower altitudes that, may bother the deer, but that's not what I'm looking to do. So I found a hot spot. I'm kind of drilling into it. I'm thinking it might be a fawn. I have no idea. It could have been an old deer bed. I have no idea. The grass is matted down a little, but there's just a clump there, and I don't know what it is. I took some photographs of it, and I will include those. I'm not sure if I want to include this one at the end of the video, but I just, I didn't see anything here. There may be something there, but again, I'm not going to get closer, and I don't want any chance of disturbing these animals. But here's IR mode. You can see the deer moving. It's kind of neat. We do herd evaluations, so if you kind of want to know what you have on your property, we can do that for you. But it's going to have to be like a two-step deal. Late winter, early spring, we'll do an actual count when there's no leaves on the trees and it's easy to count. And then later in the year, as the antler growth starts, we can do a more accurate count on buck doe numbers and the ratio for you, with the understanding that sometimes those move, but we're willing to do that for you. And here I'm just bouncing in and out from IR to zoom, non-IR. This is a doe, hovered above the doe, 310 feet up. Or this is a deer. I can't guarantee it's a doe, but I'm 310 feet above this animal and absolutely not bothering him or her at all. Here is that object again. It was white hot. I just don't know what it is. And I get some detection that what's going on here. In the background, I think my phone's ringing, and that's okay. But hopefully that's not too much of a nuisance. I'm returning home. The unit kind of does that. You can see I didn't go over the top, but I am running out of battery, and the drone senses that and will put you in the low power mode, which is that amber kind of indication at the top of the screen. I have 6 minutes left. The drone brings me back home. You'll see myself. Here's the parking lot. There's the landing pad. I highly encourage drone owners to get this. The ground was kind of soft and a little bit muddy, and with this landing pad, it made it, not a big deal at all to land. The drone puts itself above the landing pad or the place where it took off from, unless you change that, and then brings it down. Remember, it's 17-mile-an-hour winds, and this drone is going to come down unassisted right on top of that orange square. The orange square, I think, is 30 inches by 30 inches square, but that's kind of what we have for this particular mission. I thank you for your patience, your time. If you have any questions, please reach out. I'll include the email address at the end. And we're looking to help people out, and that's kind of kind of our mission. But if you're getting into drones, contact me. I can kind of maybe give you some pointers. But we look forward to helping you or helping anyone. Thank you. Bye bye.